Hi, my name is Chance, and I'm going to be giving you a presentation today on why B Movie is one of the greatest anti establishment movies of all time. B Movie is an animated comedy that was released in 2007 with a star studded cast including Jerry Seinfeld, Matthew Broderick, Renee Zellweger, and John Goodman, just name a few of the cast members. It seemed like from the initial announcement that B Movie was set to be a great children's movie with witty humor and entertaining visuals. What came from the producers was nothing short of a masterpiece, but was received poorly from critics and moviegoers. The movie was given a measly 49% on Rotten Tomato and received reviews like fairly enticing animation, yet a terribly unrelatable storyline where Seinfeld tears down any hope this movie has at being enjoyable. Or very, very bad, do not watch it unless you are going to make fun of it. In this presentation, I'll prove to you why B Movie hits the nail on the head in storytelling, and while also making an intriguingly yet hauntingly beautiful story about capitalistic exploitation and the formation of a socialist utopia. B Movie was absolutely ahead of its time. The judgment of the critics was impaired by an early indoctrination of capitalist ideas. You may think that the B Movie is a children's film, but maybe, just maybe, it's worth taking a second glance. First, I will do a quick recap of the B Movie. The story follows Barry B. Benson, and we are introduced to the world of the Hive, where Barry has spent his formative years getting an education to build up his value to the colony. In this story, honey is a commodity in which the bees produce honey and are told that in order to have enough for the colony, they must work their entire life towards this goal. The working class is manipulated and left hungry and abandoned by their own contribution to this systemic dysfunction. Upon graduation, the bees are forced into a labor system in which they have very limited choice in their role as to the production of honey. In the opening minutes of the film, there's brutal imagery of a bee being stress tested by the methods to which humans would normally kill bees. The bees become stuck in these jobs in which they are forced to choose their work until they lie on their deathbed, which one could assume is a honeycomb. Barry is belittled for wondering what life is like outside of the colony, seeking discovery of other methods of life, and stumbles upon a world of opportunity. Upon leaving the hive, Barry discovers that not only are they overworked and underprovided for, but the humans on the outside are scraping off the top and enslaving bees to create their own honey for their own sick and twisted enjoyment. Throughout the movie, there's this tension between humans and bees and how both need each other in the end. And there is this establishment in which both the humans and bees can survive in harmony without exploiting the other, creating a perfect utopia in which the bourgeoisie is demolished and the working class owns the means of production and is free to share and produce in harmony with all members of society as they choose. Karl Marx honestly would have given the B movie a standing ovation. Now I'll discuss the methods that the film uses to immerse the viewer within this world. The sound production of the movie is nothing other than stunning, with sweeping rhythms and production that bring the visual scale of the movie into an auditory experience unlike any other. One can imagine the Foley artists working relentlessly through the night to achieve such picture perfect sounds to the masterpiece that is the B movie. The dialogue in the movie is written expertly, with moments of anapathetic terameter, kind of like Dr. Seuss. There's a sort of rhythmic rhyming scheme along with a slapstick comedy that would have the best of the writers shaking in their boots. The movie uses many different techniques of filming. The world is filmed from the perspective of the bees, so it shifts in and out of close up shots where the director wants to see the humanity and expression of the bees, but then will perform a pan out to remind you the scale of the city in which they live compared to the main characters in the film. The film also uses mise en scene to show the darkness of the world, what it would be like if bees stopped pollinating. And until they start pollinating again, every scene is shown with this weird gray filter. The textured animation makes for a more realistic style of animation. It's comparable to movies like Finding Nemo and Toy Story that came out around a similar time. You could say that the animation is beautiful. The narrative on first glance of this movie starts out as almost a coming of age story about a bee trying to find his place in the world, but then falls for a human woman, in which it's illegal according to bee law to pursue. But what makes the Bee movie so special is that they intertwined a social commentary on capitalism and exploitation within the film while also making a movie watchable for both children and scholars. In conclusion, I believe that the Bee movie displays a level of complexity that is worthy of much more than a mere 49% on Rotten Tomatoes. What you can take from this film is an understanding that though some movies may seem simply constructed on the surface, if it was produced by Jerry Seinfeld, you can expect to leave the viewing buzzing. And there's my works cited. Hope you enjoy.